guys, it's Fultoncards here, live and direct from Brooklyn, New York City. Let's go. So my box didn't arrive for whatever reason. I guess they'll arrive tomorrow. I'll definitely do a couple of breaks of this stuff. But what I thought I'd do is a preview review video for those of you who are group breaking, those of you who are curious about this binary type outcome product. So in front of me today, I don't have it, but I'll have it tomorrow's 2021-22 and 2022-23 clear cut combined into one upper deck clear cut. So let's do a bit of some intel on clear cut to get you guys squared away. Yes, it's a very binary outcome type product. There are a lot of low end base autos, and there are some high ceiling, high end tribute autos. So let's get into the product. Let's get into a bit of the intel strategy intelligence when it comes to this product. It's very much a group break type product because of how easy it is if you buy boxes to come out on the losing end of it. People say high risk, high reward. As I've always said, it's high risk, low reward because it means more variance. It means you don't control your outcome. It means it's extremely, extremely risky. And yeah, a lower variance usually means better outcomes in the long run. When it comes to investing, you don't want high variance. You want low variance and you want certainty. All right, so let's get into the product as quick as we can, lickety split. So it is the dual class of 2021-22 and 22-23. The product, as we all know, is a one card product. I think a couple of boxes may have a base non-autoed coupled with a redemption. That's what they've done in the past. I'm not sure yet because I have not seen group breaks of it yet. But let's get into it. So one card per box, one auto per box on average is what you receive. Of the cards on the checklist, about 626 of them, the names on the checklist are 2022-23 cards, and 1,141 are 2021-22 cards. So what that tells you is 61% of the cards are from the 21 class, and 34%, about 33.6%, are from the 2022-23 class, and then about 5% are from 2020-21 because there are updates, and there's also 19-20 updates, and that's about 0.4% of the time you'll hit those updates. It's a little bit wank when you hit the updates, I understand that. So let's get into the checklist a little bit. Having said that, so one thing you'll notice, one of the first things you'll notice is look at the Cole Caulfield. So this is his rookie card. Now, this is the base design of 2021-22 Upper Deck Series, right? But note, it's not his young gun. So it is an auto, it just says RC for rookie card, but it uses the base design. So they do separate and differentiate themselves from Upper Deck Series as they don't use the young gun in this series. Now, also note, in terms of the parallels, there are exclusives. They say to 65 or less because there are some exclusives that are numbered to 35 or 15. The high glosses are to 10, and the one-of-ones are 1-of-1, right? 1-of-1. And it also notes here that not all of the players will necessarily have some of those parallels. But what you notice first and foremost is the fact the veterans are 1 and 7, and the rookies are 1 and 5. So 1 and 5 is about 20% of the time. But that means if you open an inner of 15 boxes, 15 cards, it means that you'll get 3 base rookie cards. So if you're looking for high-end stuff, and it also tells you that you'll get a couple of the vets. And note that this is just the 21-22 class. So you'll also receive, when you buy an inner case, so 15 boxes, you'll note that you're getting mostly base cards, right? And there are 121 cards on this base set. So then you realize very quickly you have a high likelihood of, hitting a Jacob Bryson or hitting a Sokolov or hitting a Keegan Colasar. You won't necessarily hit the ones you want to hit. And then you also see the legends, and they're 1 and 20. So they're not even guaranteed in a case or in a group break with 15 cards, 15 boxes. There is a likelihood that 4 of those cards are from one team. So you think, I have 1 in 32 chance because I picked my team, and in fact, they're going to pick 15 of those cards, so I guess I have a 50% chance of hitting my guy. In reality, because of the collation, you could go multiple cases without hitting your guy, depending on the team, and we'll get into that in a second. Okay, so continuing on here, the mainstays are really, so we have the Upper Deck Clear Cut Canvas Rookie Debut SIGs. And notice how short this checklist is, and these guys are only numbered to 10. Now, we do have the Canvas 6, which are, I believe, some of the nicest cards in the set. Of course, they're not clear cut per se, but they're some of the most cherished cards. What's really interesting about it is that they do have red ink number to the jersey, and then they have gold ink 1 of 1 in these, albeit not everybody's in there. But what's interesting is a guy like Jeremy Swayman, if you want to hit him in this sub-checklist, his jersey number is 1. So his red auto numbered to the jersey number, so I think they have base cards, they have red auto numbered to the jersey cards, and then they have gold ink 1 of 1. Both is 1 of 1, and his red ink number to the jersey number is a 1 of 1 because his number is 1. But there are other guys in here, and it's got a great checklist, and what's so great about these is you do have legends in here, like you have Patrick Roy, so he would be numbered to 33, his red ink, right, would be numbered to 33, his gold ink would be numbered 1 of 1. Okay, half case, inner case. So let's get into some of the other cards while we're at it here. So we have 2021. So the cool thing, of course, are all these insert cards, and there's a lot of new inserts, okay? Now, these are 1999 2000 Ionics cards, and I believe these are the basketball design from 99 2000, but I'm not entirely certain, but you see they're 1 in 60. So you see the odds fall off a cliff for some of these better insert cards, even though there's huge names like John Van Beesbrook and Lenny McDonald and Marcel Dion and Gretzky. Now, if you do a quick search for Gretzky, he appears 8 times on the checklist. You do a quick search for Mario, there's only one Mario, he also appears 8 times on the checklist, worth noting. So now they also have, in terms of inserts for 2021-22, so note that these are all the 2021-22, we haven't gone to the 22-23 yet, you do have legend sets. So this is a throwback to the 2001-2002 look. So they have a lot of throwback looks, NHL Legends look. So this is an old product, old throwback card, retro looking cards. But what's great about this checklist is the names on it. I mean, Danny Heatley and Dave Taylor and Joe Sakic, really, really good. Daryl Sittler, Sakic Koivu, Gretzky again. So this is really good. The only problem with this is they're numbered to 49 or they're numbered to 25, I think, as noted. So Tkachuk is to 25, Marty Brodeur is to 25, Gretzky's only to 25. So tougher to hit him. Now, they do also have, and they call this a new insert, but they've had black ambers before. This is called black and amber, one of the nicest set designs, I believe, in the entire product. But they're 1 in 40. So again, it is not easy to hit these cards when you figure the other cards are 1 in 5 or 1 in 7. You know, you're not guaranteed them in a case. You're not even guaranteed them in a full case, really, you know, because 30 cards in a full case. For the legends, for the rookies, you should hit 1 of these every 2 inners, in theory, but the collation I've noticed historically has been quite, not dismal, but yeah, it's been very jiggy, the collation. So you could get all the players from the same team. So let's say you do. So Upper Deck Champs is back again. They too have autos. They have red autos 1 and 1. They have greens numbered to 25, and I think they have base. Albeit, I don't think Gretzky's in this checklist, but what's great about the Champs cards, if you're in a group break that's a hits-based group break, if you pick the Champs, it says here it's 1 in 16. So in theory, in an inner, you should hit 1 of these. Again, contingent on the collation. Champs is a beautiful set. They had 2015 Champs as a standalone set in, and they had it a couple of times. I think they had it in 2008 and 2009 they had Champs. It's one of the most beautiful, it's sort of like high-end O-Pee-Chee looking cards on thick stock. Very historical, going back, I guess, to the cigar cards of the previous century, or millennium, for that matter. But they have existed as insert cards for the past couple of years in Upper Deck Clear Cut. So these are great too. They have great legends here like Grand Fuhrer, etc., etc. Now, here are some of the other 2021 inserts. There are the Clear Cut winners, which are die cuts. So they have die cuts, which are really cool. These are 148, so again, they're not guaranteed in a case. And the most interesting thing to my mind would be the fact, tribute autos. Okay, so they do have tribute autos. So what's really interesting here is they have the 2005-6, the Cup card of Ovechkin. So it says here that they're 1 in 20, so they should be guaranteed 1 per case. Last year, I think tribute cards were probably about 1 per inner. They may be that depending on, there's tributes from 2021-22, and there's tributes from 2022-23. But if you look at the names in here and the types of tribute cards, they are really the best cards. Of course, the Ovechkin would be the one you want. The problem is, I'm not certain whether some are short printed or not, which could be a problem. I'll get into the other issue with the tribute cards is Sometimes from year to year, they duplicate the tribute cards. So I'll get into it in a second, but the McDavid in the 2022-23, there's a McDavid here, Black Lustrous tribute, which is UD Black. He has a Future Watch Auto acetate tribute card in the 2022-23, but I think he already had that exact same tribute card previously in another release. So that devalues them, because here somebody might pay $5,000 for that tribute card. You know, I don't know what the market is for it, but somebody, and then they find out that a year later they issuing more of exactly the same tributes that they're reissuing. That devalues them, it waters it down. I don't like speaking to watered down products because that's just the nature of how, you know, products work, but that's something worth keeping in mind. Now note that they also have 2021-22 tribute cards from 1991-92 Upper Deck, from the Upper Deck set. Unfortunately, it is only 1 in 200, but they do have huge names in here, right? So that's a card you definitely want to hit. There's a tribute Wayne Gretzky once again. Of course, Wayne Gretzky is mass printed at this point, we must say. And then we have the vintage views. Again, these ones are 1 in 60, 1 in 50, 1 in 240 for the legends. Great names in terms of legend, Potvin, and they have Nikki Lidstrom. Now, something worth noting, and I haven't mentioned yet, is Trevor Zegras and Maurice Seider only exist as Canvas rookie debuts. Canvas rookie debuts are non-auto cards. Typically, historically, they've been the extra card within a box. When you get a redemption, they coupled it with a Canvas type debut that is non-autoed. Well, Trevor Zegras' card, if you look up here in my search, he only has one card in the entire set, true to Maurice Seider. Both of them are non-autoed. So note that Trevor Zegras and Maurice Seider do not appear as autos within this set. Now, 2022-23 cards, of course, they borrow the stylings of the 2022-23 base cards. You see that you have a Saku Koivu. Worth noting again that, you know, there are much more 2021 cards than 2022 cards on the checklist, okay? Almost, you know, ratio of 1/3 to 2/3, right? So again, these are 1 in 6, the vets are 1 in 6, the rookies are 1 in 5. So again, if you open up an entire case between the base cards from 2021 and the base cards from 2022, that's going to be most of your hits, not these high-end insert cards, which I am showing. Now let's go through the rest of them really quickly. Note too, for the 2022-23 Upper Deck Clear Cut Canvas rookie debuts, the auto ones, here, it is only an 8-card checklist compared to all the stuff that I showed you for the Canvas, for the red inks and all that stuff. For 2022-23, they only have 8 cards on this checklist. It includes Slafkovsky, mind you, Boldy, Sanderson, Shane Wright, but you can think about all the people that it doesn't include within here. Now, they have some really good tributes here. Obviously, they have foundation ones. I think they have a bunch of these inserts are obviously new. And one of the really most fascinating inserts are the Pride of Canada autos. Now, the issue with these is that they're only numbered to 25 or to 99, and there's only 19 cards. So that is not a lot of cards. If you're in a group break, you typically won't hit here. However, what you have in here is you have a price to 25. You have Marcel Dion, who's all over the checklist. You have Marc-Andre Fleury, Brodeur, Sakic, Tavares, etc. You do have a Lemieux. You do have a Mark Messier. You do have a Patrick Roy. You have a Crosby. You have a Thomas Chabot, Gretzky. And you have a redemption card of Connor Bedard. So Connor Bedard exists only in one place on this checklist, and that's it, as and I can just do a quick search here. He only exists one time in the checklist in a Team Canada jersey as a redemption. That's amazing. That is amazing, but I'm sure it's short printed. Whether it's short printed 25 or 100, I don't know. But the fact that he exists in a 2022-23 product is a novelty. That's a novelty. Also note that they're also Pride of the USA inserts, but there's only 10 cards on the checklist, so it's a little bit of a 2-to-1 ratio, although these are mostly numbered to 99, except a few that are, this one's numbered to patches, max patches numbered to 25. Now, I'd mentioned before that they also have 2022-23 Upper Deck Clear Cut rookie tribute cards, including the McDavid. They do have, this is the card you want to pull because it obviously is the best tribute card in the entire set. Obviously, it's short printed, so that's one thing worth noting. The other thing is, as I've said before, they've done this tribute before. So I'm concerned that, you know, they're re-releasing tribute cards that they've already done. So it waters down, devalues all the people who bought tributes. So if you bought a tribute on eBay for thousands of dollars, and then you find out for the next 5 years in Upper Deck Clear Cut they're gonna have the same tribute card, that's not good. You could not have anticipated that, so that's a bit unfair, I'd say. Note that they have other die cuts, so these are almost like SPX looking cards. Very, very cool signature vintage views, 1 in 60, so you're only to get these every second master case, 240, and you can see that these are actually really hard hits, but they do have huge names again. And if you do a quick search for McDavid exists 10 times on the checklist, so he is prominent on the checklist. They also have the Stoppers autos, which are goaltenders in their die cuts, including Marc-Andre Fleury, Carey Price, Grant Fuhr, etc., as well as the top shelf signatures. So this is also a little bit, top shelf is parlance that they've used in other products. And here we go. So here we have the 1991 again tribute rookies with big names on it. They have canvas rookie debuts again, and so you can see the canvas rookie debuts, which are non-auto. So these are the 2022 non-auto, which they couple, I guess, with redemptions, perhaps, I don't know. And here are the update sets. So they do have 2019-20 updates. They have 8 cards on the checklist set, so 0.4% of the time you're gonna hit these. And they have these 2021 updates as well, which is about 89 cards on the checklist, whereby you could possibly hit them about 5% of the time. And you can see that it includes parallels. Now, before I go, I just want to give you guys some quick intel for group breaks, okay? This is from Sports Card Analysis. He's on YouTube. Check him out, Sports Card Analysis. And, he runs a simulation of 200 cases, and from that, he divines which cards he hits most often, which types of cards, which types of hits, etc. So do note that the teams with the most cards, the most autos, are the Kings, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, Minnesota, Washington, Dallas, Buffalo, Arizona, Boston. The teams with the least cards would be Pittsburgh and Chicago, albeit you hit Pittsburgh less often, but they present a higher return because you could hit a Yager, you could hit a Mario, you could hit a Crosby. But put it this way, the LA Kings have 3,794 autos in the set, while Pittsburgh only has 1,000 plus, okay? So that's a problem. Now note that the team after 200 case breaks, the team that presents the best return is Edmonton, Pittsburgh, Montreal, Buffalo, Detroit. So it just tells you there that even though Pittsburgh hits less, when they do hit, they present a better return because they have better players. Edmonton presents the best return, but you might not hit them all the time, of course, in comparison and contrast to LA and some of the other teams I mentioned prior. And what this shows is when you do hit, so when you do hit Pittsburgh, it will present the higher. So these are the boxes or cases and where they actually hit Pittsburgh or Edmonton. When they hit, Pittsburgh presents the higher return. On average, Pittsburgh presents a lower return because you don't hit them as often. Now, going into the individual names, you'll notice in group breaks that you're probably going to hit Peterka a lot, and that's because he has 1,000 autos in the set. So by a long shot, Peterka has the most autos in the set. Then it's Weatherby, Sokolov, Steen, Monahan, Raymond, Duhaime. So you could see that it could be treacherous, perilous waters because you can hit a lot of these guys, some of the guys who are lesser known quantities, right? So far, right? I mean, some of these guys have to develop as well. But these are the names that actually hit most frequently. I think, by the way, I think Marcel Dion hits pretty frequently too. There's a couple of others that hit very frequently. Now what these bar charts show is the variance from case to case. So in case 1, for example, Montreal will hit. And it not only will hit, it'll hit Slavkovsky or hit somebody like Cole Caulfield with a big return. And you see that some of the teams won't hit whatsoever. This is the problem when you only have 15 cards per inner or 30 cards per master, is you can go through an entire case and you can maybe hit 2 or 3 Montreal Canadiens and then not hit some of the other teams. The next case, let's say you only hit 1 Canadian or 2 Canadians, but of average return. And you can see how the variance. So in this one, Seattle didn't hit in the first case. The second case, they probably hit Matty Beniers, and that's why the bar chart went up so much. But you can see that Edmonton could go 2 cases without hitting, then in the third case, you hit a McDavid. So these charts basically show you from case to case how the variance will change. And looking at a couple more cases here, you see that LA all of a sudden hit someone really good. So maybe they hit a Gretzky, then the next one they hit one, but let's say it's Turcotte or something, or Spence or whoever. I'm not sure who's on the checklist, but you know what I mean. And you can see that all these teams that hit here prior, they don't hit in this particular case. So you do see the distribution, and you do see quite a lot of variance from case to case to case. And if you buy Ottawa or if you buy LA, you probably have a higher likelihood than if you buy some of these other teams where they don't hit very often. So keep that in mind. And the last thing I want to say before I go, guys, is there are 485 one-on-ones in this set, okay? There's only 485 one-on-ones. Is it a lot? I think it's actually a lot for this product because I think there's a lot of one-to-one parallels across all the sub-checklists. So when you figure that there's only one card per box, I think 485 is a pretty decent amount, but I don't know the entire population of boxes out there, unfortunately. But my best guess is a one-to-one doesn't hit every case. It probably hits every third case or fourth case. I'm not sure. But just before I go, let me just mention that the worst return on investment are teams like the Islanders, Arizona, San Jose, and that's because a lot of the cards don't have much value, okay? So the best return would be Pittsburgh, would be Edmonton, Montreal, Buffalo, Detroit, Seattle, Toronto, etc., except not all those teams will hit every single case. There's going to be a lot of variance. Be very savvy whether you choose a hit, a random, a team select, a name break. Based on this intelligence and checking out scorecard analysis, you can decide which one makes the most sense for you, right? Some of these teams, some of the players make a lot more sense than others. Some of the hits make more sense than other hits. All right, so I've been doing Fultoncards, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. I've been doing Fultoncards. Do me the honor, sub, liking, hashtag, and drive Fultoncards live and direct from a place called Brooklyn, New York City.